Hello, I'm here today to talk to you about a business opportunity. You're the head of a huge organization and have the opportunity to acquire a business that's produced income, trouble-free for better than 10 years, with no end in sight. You can acquire them for nearly no cost. They're pretty much self-sustaining. Additionally, it will improve morale and increase overall productivity and sustainability for most of your organization. In fact, they're already contributing to your organization, already in place, and they just need your signature to be recognized as part of the organization. At that point, you can expect a sustainable increase in their productivity. It doesn't solve all your problems, but it does solve 80% of one. I assume you know about Pareto. The 80% solution is the easy part. Please hear me out on this. This is not going to be conventional. It's not going to be status quo. The problem is it bothers just about everybody in the highest positions of your organization. It bothers them because the acquisition takes away a bargaining chip. They don't want to solve this problem, and they don't want this solution. Maybe you should consider it. Some use these good people as a promise that they'll never make good on. They hold them hostage so that their relatives will support that group, but they'll never release them. Because once they do, their value as hostages is zero. The other side wants to paint them as competition, as a threat, as a beast that good people need to be protected from. Frankly, I think that you've already fallen into this by thinking that there's so many that are criminal within this good organization. You want to go against the status quo? There are two status quo positions, that left and right. Let's take away the defense for politics as usual. Let's remove that. I'm talking, of course, about at least 10 million undocumented Americans. These are people who work, pay their taxes, contribute to the GDP, who believe in this country enough to have gone through an awful lot to get here. They want, honestly, what I want. I just didn't have to go through everything they did to get here and do it. What the majority of us want, to work and raise families here without bombs falling on our heads, without secret police, practicing our religion freely if we have one, raising our children as we see fit, educating them, and we're grateful for this opportunity. On average, they've been here nearly 14 years, according to Pew Research anyway, and they're fully invested in America. These are not, I'm not talking about people that just came over yesterday, I'm talking about people who've been here for a long time. They're part of the fabric of our community, certainly mine, but they're part of the country, and they're contributing right along the rest of us. Most of them don't want to return back to where they came from. It's not because they don't care, it's not because they don't love their families and their country of origin, but practically speaking, this is a better place to be. Their children are Americans, often born here, often, of course, then have citizenship. This is their country. Most of them have families or want to. They often bring the values of honesty and hard work with them from countries that valued these things for centuries. We may be losing some of that here. Certainly, we're seeing that. But in these other countries, these people are coming here to work hard because that's what they know. It's what they did before. They come here, but they get a better return for their hard work. Anyway, political or economic events have forced them out of their native place. To a large degree, these are economic and political refugees. And they'll do whatever they have to protect their families and get over here. And to save their own lives, and you can't blame them for that. Anyway, this is just like the Irish, the Italians, so many others that left oppression and came here. We took them in rather quickly and somewhat, a lot more easily than we're dealing with from our neighbors to the south right now, certainly. They're Americans just like me, just like you. They're doing all the same things. They're participating in the same way. These are not, by and large, people that are sitting around waiting for somebody to give them money. The people that get over here and get to work right away. I've seen it, believe me. But I also know statistically, these people are not just goofing off. They're undocumented because they're a political football. That's the reason. Both parties, both sides have used them. You say you want to break through this, you need to get past both of those parties. Surrounding yourself by Republicans isn't going to help you, and the Democrats aren't going to work with you. Everybody's got a dog in this thing. They don't want this to work. You can make it work. Sorry, I got off my notes. Yeah. We employ them, so they're productive. I mean, we do employ them. They're doing work all the time. They're statistically less likely to commit crimes than people that have been here for generations. You can look all this up. None of this is hidden information. It may be hidden from the leadership of the political parties because their minions don't want them to know, but you can get around that. Anyway, they're less likely to commit crimes, and they are a known quantity. They're a sure bet. You know, when if I go to hire somebody, if there's somebody I've worked with before, or somebody that's been in my organization a long time, or they're a contractor that's been working and now they want to convert to employee, that's like the safest hire I can make, is to do it with somebody that I already know. You've got like 10 million people here, at least, that have already proven themselves over more than a 10-year period. Why would you not grab these people and keep them? You don't want to deport people like that. Why would you get rid of the people that have already proven their value, that have already proven that they can fit in our society, produce, raise children, and not be a problem, and honestly do the things that need to be done? And I'm not talking here about just minor labor. A lot of these people that I know, at least, are doing work that's in contracting. They're doing things that are skilled, what I would consider skilled labor. They're not just, you know, picking a box up from the left side and putting it to the right side. Okay, let's set some criteria for this. Criteria would have to be that they have a clean record, they've got a longer residency. What that amount should be, that's negotiable, but let's take care of a big chunk of this issue. And then we offer citizenship. You can't force anybody, but offer citizenship. That should make life better for at least 8 to 10 million people that are here already fully plugged in, most of them with IRS records. And if the bottom line for the United States is happiness, if that's what we produce, if that's our profit, then this goes direct to the bottom line. You know, with a stroke of a pen, you could solve this. And there's a lot of this you could do without having to go through a lot of red tape and bureaucracy. And I have some definite ideas on some first steps you could take that would be pretty amazing, that you have the right, as once you're in the presidency, to do this, and you could solve a big problem right away. I'm not giving away all my secrets here yet. Okay, I've tried not to appeal to emotion on this. I've just tried to deal with it from a business perspective. This is an easy win. I know it sounds counter to a lot of the promises that were made. Getting rid of people that are a problem, okay. You know, I just assume probably deport people that are criminals regardless, but nobody wants them. Sometimes we're better off dealing with something here. Okay, but if you could acquire a proven business, you'd have to accept a few issues. Okay, maybe there are a few bad eggs, but not as many as we already have in the citizenry. We've already got lots. My goodness, you can look out on the street right now. Look on the news and see how many awful people there are. There's people doing a lot of damage from both sides. And percentage-wise, the folks that you could offer citizenship to are people that are less likely to behave that way. They're the hard-working people. They look at this and go, what's the matter with all these people? They're not out there doing stuff that's bad. I mean, you really need to think about this. All right. But from an ethical point of view, the results would be amazing. Millions of people would be suddenly free. They would have more choices. They would have more capacity for risk. As a business person, you know that the more risk you take, the better the return. People right now that are not documented can't afford to take certain risks. When they take those risks, they could get picked up and deported, even though they've been productive members of society, and that's not good. So they will hold back, but their productivity would go up. You know how the stock market is. I mean, the stock market, if there's uncertainty, like around the presidential election, then the stock market goes down. And then when everything's settled, it goes up. It's the same for individuals. We take less chances. We take fewer risks when we're not sure about what we can do and what the risks exactly are. If I think I'm going to get arrested if I go do some piece of work, I'm not going to go do that piece of work. I'm not talking about illegal things. I'm talking about just going out and doing work. If I thought I was going to get shot going to work, I'm not going to go to work that day. And then I'm less productive, right? Let's take away the uncertainty, bring them home, and then our stock will go up. I'm confident you can sell this. I know that this sounds like it's contrary to everything. I believe that you can sell this. I'd be glad to help with details. I have a job to do. I've got work and everything else. This is not hard. And I could spend an hour with you. We could lay this out beautifully and clean it all up. You can send somebody. I've done this before. You can send somebody over. We'll talk and we'll get this solved. It's not amnesty. This is better than that. I've looked at what the White House offered before. It had punishments in it. It says, you know, yeah, we're going to give them citizenship, but they're going to have to pay for their sins, you know. No, no. Don't do stupid things. This needs to be where we simply acknowledge these are Americans. Now, would you like to come forward and be a citizen, or do you want to continue being undocumented? And give them the choice, because you've got to give people the choice. But you also have to make them completely confident that if they come forward, that they will in fact get what you're offering. There are some other details that need to be dealt with on this. There's some complexities, but I'm 100% confident these can be dealt with quickly and easily. It has to be done right to gain acceptance from ordinary Americans. I'm ordinary. I'm not a professional speaker, obviously. I'm not a political science student or graduate. I just work. And I think it's reasonable to say that 70% of Americans would go for this if you package it right, if you're really, really upfront and make the points that I've made here. We can't please the far left. Whatever we do, they'll be unhappy. And you sure can't please the far right, because they're not going to want to offer this at all. But I'll tell you, there's a 70% middle at least, I'm sure. You know this. You've done the research, and you knew what you were doing when you went for the campaign. Anyway, you can't hear us out there, because nobody's going to listen to us. We're boring. And we're saying what neither side wants to hear. The left doesn't want us, the right doesn't want us. I'm right down the middle on this. I'm sure that you can get backing from the majority of Americans. We know this message is unacceptable to maybe most or all of your advisors, probably and certainly everybody that was advising the other candidate for president. Maybe now's the time. Maybe you left an opening for us. I'd sure like that. Let's fix what we can. We can fix this. We can fix this part of it now. Please do it. Thank you.